Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to Crow's Whisper Tarot. Today we're going to look at your past life and see how your past life has affected this lifetime and what sort of journey you will get in this lifetime because of it. So let's skip over to the piles. So guys, here are the piles. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4 and pile 5. Take your time selecting the piles. You may be drawn to more than one today. So, see how we go. Hello, pile 1. So you guys selected the obsidian crystal today. So let's have a look at your reading. Let's start off with what your past life was like. So, to start off with, we have I talk and speak with confidence. So you're definitely someone who held yourself in high esteem, you know what you wanted, and you were a go-getter. Perhaps part of it was that you neglected a lot of self-care, you focused a lot on work and being able to provide, and also workaholic energy coming through here again. So it could be that you sort of gave everything you had to a cause without sort of considering how that was affecting you mentally and health-wise and physically as well. With the Aries card here with act, it's definitely something that you've had with that energy. You're very fast acting, know what you want, but at the same time, you're very determined to get certain things done at a certain period of time without sort of thinking about the consequences of being that quick with acting. It could also be that you were part of some sort of beauty industry or some sort of fashion industry, and so you're working really hard to achieve the expectations. I am getting a little bit of the English Revolution times, or Industrial Revolution I should say, where you're in factories working all the time, not having enough time to consider, breaks or anything like that. That wasn't part of what you were doing, but you were definitely at the top of your field, having a lot of people look up to you and had a lot of people trying to get close to that sort of energy that you're getting as well. It could be that because of it, it drained you very much emotionally and physically, and that you are ending up with a lot of stress because of it. In addition to that, we have the vulture spirit, which is nothing is wasted. So with this card, it shows that you're able to really pursue and achieve what you want. But at the same time, because of how little you had to make the most of your resources as much as possible. So it could be that at that time you're not doing well for yourself, so that self-care hasn't been coming through at all. Whereas in this lifetime, with that spirit rebirth is assured, it's all about trying to make the most of what you have and trying to embrace the unexpected rewards that you are getting. And it could be that in this lifetime you have everything that you want and everything that you need, because in the past life you have been working really hard to provide for yourself, and then now in this lifetime you're receiving the rewards for it. And that shows again with the 9 of Pentacles, having everything that you want and everything that you might need. And it could be that now you are very much settled, very much comfortable with what you have and what you've been given. It doesn't seem like there's any difficulty that you're having in this current situation. I think with all the hard work that you've paid off with, it's definitely being rewarded. In addition to that, let's have a look at some more cards. we have the King of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Moon card. So what that shows is that the way your past life has rewarded you is that you not only have the confidence with the King of Wands here that you had in your past life, that confidence of you know what you're doing, you know how you are with other people, you know yourself really well, that aspect of things has still come through in this lifetime. But you also get a lot of achievements that result from that. And it can be that although in the past life you were sort of go, focusing a lot on trying to achieve rather than sort of existing very calmly, you ended up with the Knight of Pentacles, which is being able to take the time to slowly think about what's coming up and think about the future and plan and be able to act really slowly. That is what is showing here. So that is a great change from what it was previously in your past life. With the King of Cups here, self-care is something that I think you're still working on. You're getting close to it, very close to being a master of self-care. But I think it is something that you will need to constantly go back and forth with, and it's not going to be something that is very consistent with you at the moment, but that's something that you need to try and achieve in this lifetime, is being able to have that self-care and maintain that self-care and not go do it for a bit, leave it for a few months and then be like, oh no, I need to fix myself back up again. What I'm getting is like feeling like you have like back pain or neck pain, and then you sort of leave it until it gets really bad, and then you eventually be like, oh, I need to take care of this somehow, and then you go back. And it could be related to fitness as well, where you have periods of like really good at consistent gym, consistent fitness, and then you have periods where you just don't do anything and it just sort of fades off. With the Moon card here, dreams and ambitions are very much prominent for you. It can be that part of this is also being able to speak your dreams into reality, I think is what is also coming up here, because you did get the throat chakra that you're really good at. So it could be that you're really good at manifesting in the sense of speaking your dreams into reality. So that's something to consider for any future plans that you might have. But also consider that if you do say something negative in terms of self-talk or negative in terms of, I don't think I can do this, I would never be able to do this, that's going to manifest into reality as well. So just be really careful with the words that you do say and make sure that they're in your benefit and not talking yourself down. That is what is really important. So, in addition to that, let's have a look a bit more about your past life story. What is pile one's past life story? Any other information? We've got the Temperance card. So it could be that a lot of the time you had to do the work of pouring into someone else's cup. I'm also getting for some of you, in addition to the Industrial Revolution, you may have been in, I would say, medieval age, where you're serving kings and queens and like pouring drinks for them in court. That seems to be along the lines of what would make sense with that neglecting of self-care, where you're really good at your work and really good at demonstrating that confidence, but it's something that you've always had to be really careful of. The other thing I'm getting is that you guys may have been, some of you, taking resources from those who are wealthy and have power, and then giving it back to the poor, sort of Robin Hood style, if you would. That is the other thing that I'm getting, is that sort of care for others more than yourself. So being able to risk your life essentially for others. The other thing we have here is the Magician. And this is quite interesting because I did say with some of you that you would speak your words into reality. But in addition to that, I think being able to manifest has come from a very deep place for you. I think it has always been there, even when you were younger, even when you were a kid. You probably pass it off as luck, but the reality is it is very much a part of your soul's contract, so to speak. And so it's definitely a gift that you have. So definitely make the most of that Magician card there and get the most out of what you can in terms of where you want to go. The more you plan and the more you put your thoughts into where you want to be and manifest the reality you want, the closer you would get to your goals. And the more you try and do this, the sooner things will come into being for you in terms of the 3D at the moment. So that was your reading, pile 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was quite clear, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You guys picked the Rainbow Obsidian. So let's have a look at your cards. Okay. To start off, you have the card I Love Unconditionally, and the card I do have Victim Mindset right now. So that is very interesting. I would say from the perspective of loving unconditionally, you're definitely someone who would give more to others than for yourself. So it could be a situation where you're in a family and you're providing for them, and so you give more than you require. And that victim mindset of being able to do something without getting rewarded for it is coming through as well. We also have the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords reversed, and the Five of Wands. So very much along the lines of this individual in your past life was making the most of you. And I think you were quite naive at that time, and so you believed that everything that was given to you was for a purpose. And so every criticism you received, any negative things that happened in your life, all of them sort of accumulated, and you believed that it was because of you, for some of you as well. In addition to that, it's almost like you didn't have the power to fight back. So that victim mindset of, I am unable to get out of the situation, I'm unable to escape the bounds that are around me. But the reality is that you had every ability to get out of a situation, you just didn't feel like you had the power to, which ended up being that in that situation you're getting the brunt of everyone trying to make the most of you and taking your energy and making as much use as they can of you. There wasn't very clear boundaries that you set up, and so it ended up being with the Five of Wands as well, that you ended up with a lot of burdens that you didn't need. And a lot of fights that could have been resolved if you spoke up for yourself. So with the Page of Cups here as well, that naivety that everyone is there for your own support and your own purpose and are good for you isn't the right mindset for you in that period of time. I'm not saying this is the reality now, this is your past life. With the Seven of Wands here, it is similar where that boundary isn't met. So instead of drawing a line saying that's not going to work for me, you sort of just let things happen and almost absorb any negativity that's there. And that ended up being a very big mental toll for you. And you weren't able to pull yourself back together as quickly or as effectively as you could have, which ended up being one of the downfalls in your past life. I'm getting more of a sense that this was related to family more than an external person that was taking advantage of you. It could be that you were caring for someone in the family and other members of the family were just asking more and more of you, and not giving you enough time to recuperate and regain that energy back. How that has now manifested in this lifetime is the Cow Spirit. Miracles are endless. And the Ant Spirit, which makes sense, time to collaborate. So what that then indicates is that in this lifetime, that is being reversed, where everything that you want is being done for you. People are working in your favor and with you rather than against you. And you may find initially that working in team situations or group situations was very awkward and you felt like you were on edge all the time, and that may have resolved now, or it still might be there, and that sort of manifests from your past life as well, where you felt like you had to be a workhorse in order to be respected or shown respect. So that ability to relax and believe that spirit has your back and that things will be rewarded for you as much as possible is something that you need to absorb and keep that mindset. It's something that has taken a lot of time, but it's important to believe that you have the power to control the people around you, and you have the power to control who is involved in your life and who is not. And you have every ability to cut ties with people that are in your life as well. And we have Cancer with Immerse. It is all about being able to understand that your care, emotions, and beliefs can be accepted, or you can reject anyone who goes against you. The biggest thing with Cancer is a lot of love, a lot of care, but at the same time, it's with family, it's important to keep boundaries as much as possible and understand that no matter what you do or say, it is important to understand your words have power, whether for good or bad, and it's important to make the most of using that to benefit others rather than hurt others. It could be that unconsciously you are saying words to family based on your past life experience that are hurtful, and that will then lead to very poor ties with family, and almost like families distancing themselves from you on purpose to try and avoid any sort of confrontation. So try and keep your pincers to yourself as much as possible. Try and be as civil as possible when creating these boundaries and not get too aggressive. I think that is the biggest thing that is coming through at the moment, is as nice as it is that you are building back boundaries and making sure that you are protected, you don't want to hurt someone else in the process. That's not how things should work. In addition to that, let's see any other messages for pile 2. That shot right out. So we have the King of Wands and King of Cups and the Four of Wands. So with the King of Cups here, definitely that emotional maturity is something that needs to be worked on a little bit. The reason I say that is with Cancer as well, it is all about trying to understand the depth of other people's emotions. Nothing is just surface level. I think you have predominantly tried to hold on to negative words that people have said or negative things people have done, but not able to let go and not able to see past those particular points. I think you may also find that with the King of Cups as well, that you are your words have power. You're using them to build yourself up. However, you're also at the same time being very manipulative to people around you. You need to be more certain of how to come across as a calm, collected, nice person, rather than someone who is calm, collected, and will bite your hands that try to help you. It's not a great situation at the moment. I think that's something that you do need to keep in mind and work on. I think it's also important that you focus on things other than family and relationships and go out as much as possible, enjoy life as much as possible, and try and keep yourself engaged in things other than focusing on family and family matters and past family issues that you may have or had, because that's not going to benefit you, and it's going to end up almost sucking the life out of you more than it would be to engage with these family members. So in addition to that, at the bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Wands. It could be for some of you that the best way to deal with family emotions, parts of your life, is actually to distance. It's not the greatest thing to hear, because family is very much supportive in this lifetime. It doesn't seem like they're acting against you in this lifetime. But because of this Cancer energy as well, with this slight, almost passive-aggressive tendency that you do have to engage with family members, with the Two of Wands, it's more important to create that distance and be your own person and be away from them so that you can really develop on yourself. It could be also that you have traveled away from family a lot of the time, and that could be for the purpose of you being more individual, whether it was a conscious choice or not. But that is your reading, pile 2. I hope it made sense. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You guys selected the amethyst crystal here. So let's have a look at your past life. We have, I am disconnected. I talk more than I listen. I love, but I neglect my own emotions. Ooh, not a great start. We have the dolphin spirit. This and that are true. We also have squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. And we have the Page of Swords. So, off the bat, definitely in terms of your mindset, I feel like the disconnection is related to, I would say, more isolation. It could be that you are isolated from, in your past life, from the people around you, from family, friends, communities, and because of that, you try to engage as much as you can. But the method that you used to engage with people was more trying to yell to get their attention, and whether they responded or not, you just kept trying to, out of frustration, make your point heard. And so you would try and talk over them and trying to get them to do as you wanted, and that didn't end up working out very well, because it ended up being that over time you sort of kept this anger and frustration as your motivation, rather than for you to be accepted emotionally by other people and trying to connect with other people. I think you ended up getting so frustrated with the community around you that you ended up self-isolating rather than continuing to try and connect to other people. So I think because of this confusion that you had within yourself and this disconnect between your heart and mind, you ended up being unable to have solid ground with other people and solid communication with other people, and being able to connect with other people on a really deep level, because you're so hyper focused on being seen as someone who is strong and needs to be heard. And with squirrel spirit of believe in yourself, your self-confidence that you are worth a lot, that you are worthy of a person, that you're meant to be on this earth for a reason. Those thoughts didn't really seem to make sense to you because of that distance that you had, and that whatever you did or said wasn't being accepted or seen as normal. With the Page of Swords here, it's the same thing with communication. Over time, I feel like as much hard work and dedication you have put in to being accepted and for what you do to have meaning and significance, that was something that you definitely struggled with having. It's almost like over time you started to talk over other people because you didn't want to be silenced and you didn't want to be put under, and you didn't want to be ignored. So you tried to make your presence heard as much as possible and worked really hard to make sure that people understood you and heard you and accepted you. But that ended up backfiring a little bit, where even if people tried to come and approach you and trying to engage with you, you saw them as a threat and you saw them as someone who should be avoided. And so you would sort of go in and out of these cycles a lot of the time and sort of keep to yourself rather than look at the bigger picture as a community perspective. And so that's definitely something in your past life that has affected you quite a bit. So let's have a look in this lifetime how that has affected you. We have the Star, the 10 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles reversed, the 3 of Cups, and the World card. So in this lifetime, there has been a really big emphasis on your self-perception and self-growth that has come through. So I think just from the effect of your past life, you have become somewhat of a pessimist. seeing the glass as half empty rather than half full, and not being able to believe and hope and dream. That's not something that you would have. You focus more on work ethic and more on connection with, not so much connection with others, but work ethic, being able to show rather than tell. So being more action orientated rather than showing through words is what I'm getting as well. With the Six of Pentacles reversed, it is all about trying to motivate yourself, trying to give more to others rather than others giving to you. I feel like you have a responsibility to accept as much as you can from other people and show other people your strengths, where you've come from, how much you've grown, and building on yourself is something that has definitely been a part of what you wanted to do. With the Three of Cups here, the best thing about this lifetime is that you have found your group, your tribe, people who you want and people who support you. It's something that clearly has been something that you have been working on so hard on in your past life, that finally we have the results and finally we can see how much it's changed who you are, which is amazing. So the World card here, you've gone through a lot of cycles, a lot of challenges to get to a place where you have the friends you want, you have the job you want, you have the respect and the acceptance of people around you. I think what you're still partially working on is trying to get back to feeling this sense of hope and get back to being a little bit more optimistic. I think that's something that has always been quite a challenge for you. And we have Mercury here with messages. Communication in all its forms have been something that, again, you're still working on a little bit. I think with how things have been progressing with Mercury, it's being able to not just communicate, but also to actively listen to enable for further communication. That's just something that has needed work from your past, and it could be that you already got to a point where that's easy to do and you do it well, but it's still something that you should have at the back of your head of trying to achieve. We also have Pluto here with rebirth. I think the ability to recover from a difficult situation and come out stronger is also something that may be a bit of a challenge for you, and it's similar to the Ten of Wands here as well. Being able to delve into really complex situations and not just think of how you're going to get out of it, the solution, but also thinking about where you want to go and how you want to recuperate and regenerate and come out stronger. So 10 in Tarot is all about the completion of a cycle and being able to move past that end stage. So that is the hardest part, and I think that's something that you guys are still working on, and it's a very complex thing because it's not just you being able to put yourself out there. On top of that is also trying to be flexible and trying to be able to go with the flow. And that planning aspect, I think, overrides your ability to let things be, so to speak. I think partly you trust yourself really well, but you don't trust the universe as a whole to let miracles happen for you. And that is where you may struggle a bit in this lifetime, is trying to trust that people around you and energies around you are working in your favor rather than against you. And that just might be something that you need to change your mindset on a little bit. But that is your reading. Pile 3. Very interesting. I will see you guys in the next one. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Hello, pile 4. You guys picked the green fluorite. Let's have a look at your reading. We'll start off with what your past life was like. So, to start off, you have the Fool. We have the Four of Cups. So, to start off with the Fool card, it is all about being on a brand new journey. I think you're someone who was very excitable, very full of life, able to go and see things and really enjoy yourself with life in general. But the one thing that you didn't really think about was getting help from others and getting information, assistance from others. You're more than happy to be a free spirit and just do your own thing and not be involved with other people and not have advice from other people. In addition to that, we have the Hanged Man, the Six of Wands reversed, the Three of Swords reversed, the Three of Pentacles reversed, and the Knight of Wands. So, with the Hanged Man, it is all about having a very different perspective on the world around you and being able to really push yourself in different directions and being not confined to one idea. I think because you're such a broad thinker and so unique in the way that you thought and processed things about yourself, you ended up being in a place where you're constantly on unstable ground. With the Six of Wands here. Nine of Wands here. The unstable ground. You're not able to find yourself in what you want to do and where you want to go. It is constantly a complex process of trying to navigate through different scenarios in different areas. And the reason for that is that you refused to work with anyone. Any sort of teamwork, any sort of help from others, you immediately reject and immediately say, that's not for me, that's not going to work. I'm going to do my own thing, no matter what you say or do. And so you almost block any kind of help and assistance from others. And what that ends up doing is that you are in a place where you're unable to, if you are struggling, you have no one to rely on and no one to help you piece yourself back together and no one to help you move forward, because what ends up happening is that you're stuck in a situation and you're refusing help from others. At the same time, you're also refusing to look at a new perspective on situations. As unique a thinker as you were, it makes it really hard for input and for adaptation, because you think you're independent, but because you're unable to see someone else's perspective, you actually are limiting your own perspective, if that makes sense. With the Knight of Wands, because you're such a free spirit and doing your own thing and so fast moving, no one was able to keep up with your energy. And so you'd pretty much be a nomad, traveling place to place, not having a secure environment and not being able to really understand the perspectives of others. I think that disconnect between people is quite significant. This is similar to one of the piles, but I can't remember which one it was now. I'll let you know. But that is what has really affected you in your past life, is this disconnect from people, but being constantly on the move. So how that has affected you in this lifetime, I see that I can have mental fog. It's the thought process of not being able to fully understand, comprehend, and move past where you want to go. So you're sort of just going in blind a lot of the time. That might be how you feel in this current lifetime. And we have Uranus with change. This is interesting because that's what you have been doing in your past life. So it could be on two different extremes, depending on what sort of person you are. You could have, when you were younger, been constantly on the move, constantly changing houses, moving places, not feeling very stable. And then in this lifetime, because of your childhood in this lifetime, you may now feel that you need to lay a solid foundation for yourself and find a solid home, stability, place to stay, and feeling secure in that fact. Or it can be that because in childhood you were moving, traveling all the time, you've now grown to understand and let others guide you and let spirit be your guide, with the hawk spirit here. Being able to really adapt and not just be stuck in your own energy, but also being able to connect to spirit or other people, and being able to use people and resources to your advantage rather than simply refusing them because they don't fit what you want. And that's something that may have changed for you, is that ability to really see, adapt, and absorb other people. With the having mental fog, it can be partly because you constantly feel anxious that something is going to change. So it could be that you really desire that stability underneath everything else, as fun as it is to travel and move, and be really hyper conscious of, is this going to stay or is it going to disappear? Is this going to exist in 2 years' time, or is it going to completely run away from me? That sort of thought process is something that you guys have a little bit of anxiety with. Any advice for this pile? And spirit, time to collaborate. It's really important that what you do is try to get assistance from others. Could be therapist, it could be someone in your family, friends. You just need someone to be there for you to create that stability. It could also be a pet, if that helps. It definitely you need some sort of grounding, stability, someone there with you to lean on when you are feeling these bouts of mental fog and anxiety. Because there's no point trying to deal with it on your own, because that's what you did in your past life, and that wasn't very successful. So try to collaborate as much as you can with people and things around you. You just need some form of stability for you to function. With anything else that you wanted to point out, let's have a look. I feel like I can't do this without a second camera, but we will see that one. I do have low self-esteem right now. I think the anxiety is similar in the sense of, not only is it stopping you from planning for the future, but it's also stopping you from connecting well with yourself. And it makes you anxious that if you do something wrong, say something wrong, if you go about something a certain way, there's a underlying anxiety that nothing is going to plan and nothing will go to plan, which is very interesting given that having that low self-esteem, it's partly due to having low self-confidence and having a solid sense of self. So definitely a lot of positive self-talk, a lot of positive affirmations for yourself would be really beneficial, because I don't see anything that would particularly indicate that things are going to fall apart or not work out for you. It seems like everything is moving at the pace it should, but it's just up to you how to resolve that clarity in yourself. And it's not even about the things around you or, things going on in your life. It's just your sense of self and being able to have a solid idea of who you are, where you want to go, and what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and being very decisive. That's really what is limiting you at the moment, and something that you should work on in this lifetime. So, pile 4, that was your reading. Please like and subscribe if it makes sense to you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hello, pile 5, and welcome to your reading. You guys selected the citrine crystal here. So let's start off by looking at your past life. We have the High Priestess, the 9 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, the Justice card, and the 5 of Cups. So, to start off with, in your past life, you would have felt very isolated from the people around you and your surroundings. And that was due to a circumstance or event in your past that really caused you to need to isolate yourself, and it brought a lot of fear and anxiety within you. And that was due to one of the laws that was put in place at that time. I'm picking up like medieval situation or beliefs, and that put you in a really awkward position because you were a target based on those laws. And so you're constantly running with fear and anxiety that something won't work out for you. And it could be that with the 5 of Cups here, you either lost friends, family, because of that event or connection. And so you ended up in a situation where all you could really rely on was your intuition and your beliefs and religion, if that's part of it too. Being able to connect with a higher source to get that hope and, help with that anxiety and fear and sadness that you were experiencing as well. In addition to that, we have, I see and can get mentally overwhelmed. The 3rd eye chakra. And we also have, I sense and dissociate from my body. So it can be that because of the circumstance, putting your mental health first and putting your spirituality first is not something that came easily. It's something that you are trying to avoid. What you only focus on is survival, and that is the only thing that you really focused on, and you ignored the spiritual, mental side of things. As much as you hope and pray, that's not something that was fundamentally assisting you. I am picking up for some of you that it could be that you had some sort of spiritual power, some sort of spiritual energy, could be also witchy vibes as well. And because of this persecution I'm getting as well that was happening, you're not able to hone into those skills and be able to put those skills out there. You're constantly on the road of self-protection and trying to protect those close to you as well. And so you had no time to really delve into those subjects. And if it is more along those witchy power line vibes, it could be during the witch trials in Salem as well. It's just one of those things that took a lot of time and energy for you to move past and adapt to. How that has affected you in this lifetime, we have solar flares with activate, and we also have descendant invitation, which is very interesting. The reason it's interesting is with solar flares activate, it's being able to activate those powers within you. So you could be more susceptible to sensing people's energies, any sort of telekinesis, connection with spirit, being a medium, using, occult strategies that have worked really well for you. And it could lead you, for some of you, it could lead you to forming really meaningful connections in your life. That includes any sort of romantic connections or platonic connections or connecting to your soul family as well. But going through the path of rediscovering that spiritual side of things with the High Priestess here is quite a significant part of your life, I feel. In addition to that, we also have the Wolf Spirit, which is turn knowledge into wisdom. And we also have the Groundhog Spirit of time to let go. So, how this has affected you in this lifetime is use those skills that have been passed down to you through your spirit and through your soul, and use it to not only help yourself, but also to help others. Being able to use those skills to make you a good leader, to make you a well-formed person, to make you more self-aware, to make you stronger in who you are. Use those strategies to really boost that part of yourself. With the Groundhog Spirit as well, is it time to let go? Let go of any sort of concern you have with how others perceive you. Because in the past, you're hyper-focused on being seen a certain way, being, making sure you're protecting your family, not being out in the spotlight. It could be that in childhood or growing up, you would have struggled with putting yourself out in the spotlight, putting yourself in front of other people, presenting who you are, and presenting your true self as well. Not being able to voice that aspect of yourself, and trying to keep part of yourself hidden as well could be a very big part of your experience in this lifetime. Any other messages for pile 5 on what their past life was like? We have the 8 of Cups and the Ace of Swords here. Sorry, can't get this too right. In addition to that, so with the Ace of Wands, it's all about being able to put yourself out there, being able to make your move, follow your soul's journey. It could be something that you guys might want to investigate, is what your soul's journey is in this lifetime. You can do that by looking at your astrology chart in terms of your North Node. And that location would explain what your journey would be. So that's a good way to connect to that energy if you're interested in it. With the Eight of Cups, it is all about trying to move away from situations that are not for your benefit. So if you're in a family situation or friends or just people around you, environments even, that aren't suitable for you and it aren't doing well for you mentally, then it may be right to move, rather than sort of sit and let things happen around you. Take action and move away from situations that aren't for your benefit. I'm going to keep that there for now. We also have the World card. So you may be potentially a water sign, most likely Scorpio, who, and if you are, great, that is me as well, and more specifically to Scorpio moons. The reason is you have such an incredible tendency to transform and change and grow and go through multiple cycles and multiple tower moments. And tower moments are those that completely alter your view of life, completely shatter the foundations you have, and completely build you back up, or build yourself back up eventually. This massive change that occurs within your thought process, within your physical 3D realm, within your own body. And that is something that is hard to accept and move on from. But you have every ability to achieve success. The more tower moments you go through, the more chances you have to learn, to grow, and to create something incredible. So the one thing I will say is, in this lifetime, you are going to have challenges, regardless of what happens. You will be having challenges and things that you need to move away from and things that you need to move past and grow from. The reason being, in the past, you sort of sat and accepted the way things were because you felt like you didn't have a ability to escape any sort of situation. And so you sort of trapped yourself in isolation so that you can, be hidden and be happy. But in this lifetime, what you are doing is your soul has chosen to accept any and all challenges that come your way and to see how much you can grow from them. And the goal with you in this lifetime is to get to a stage where you can show your true self completely and utterly to people, and you will be completely and utterly accepted for all your weird, quirky self that you are. That is partially what that represents. In addition to that, any other messages for this pile? We have, of course, the Seven of Cups, and we also have Judgment. So, with the Seven of Cups, it's all about dreaming into manifestation. Being able to really think of what you want and thinking about it, imagining it, bringing that into reality. It is a much slower process, but the more you focus, the more you envision it, the more you can put it into action and send it into the universe and create it into being. With your High Priestess energy that you have continued to have, that is the only way to access those powers, so to speak, is to dream it into reality. And it could be that any sort of subconscious thought that you have, any sort of subconscious image that comes in your mind as well, that might be either you trying to connect to spirit or you trying to manifest something subconsciously. So just be careful of what you envision yourself doing and who you envision yourself with, if it's more of a romantic connection that you're trying to access. Because with the Judgment card here, it is important to be careful of what you speak into reality and what you do into reality as well. This is a very highly spiritual group. I feel like with the Judgment card here as well, you're someone who is needing to work on their shadow self, needing to work on connecting with their shadow self and being able to absorb the complexities of situations. But in addition to that, the Judgment card in traditional tarot is being able to access the call of angels and access the call of spirits. So it could be that you are highly connected in that sense as well. The other groups didn't get any additional cards, but you guys did. So the additional cards you got was the Lovers card here and the Star card. So if you guys are focused on any sort of love connection, if you are hyper focused on getting a soul family or getting some sort of emotional connection to others, that dream definitely has been heard and seen by spirit and is willing to put it into your reality, into 3D. In addition to that, if I can pick up this card, which I'm struggling with, we have Gayatri Devi, which is the mother of devotion. So let me have a look. At the message. So if you are looking for a strong connection with any person that you have in mind, Gayatri Devi brings love as it truly should be, as an essence of pure joy and great devotion between two people, as between mother and her baby. Consider whether you have this before entering into a marriage or a significant relationship. And it's important to consider that devotion to you, your family, and or a spiritual path will remain a large part of your life. More inner peace is coming to you along with improved physical health. So, you can see that last passage there. So, it's interesting how spiritual path came multiple times during this reading. I just found that quite interesting. And if you are interested, you can always listen to the Gayatri mantra as well, if you would like. That may benefit you in the future. So that was your reading, pile 5. I hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe if it made sense to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.